Biggest soccer pet peeve?
Maybe when people roll their shoulders up too high. It's like, no.
Game-winning header or game-winning penalty kick?
Penalty kick.
Favorite female athlete?
Marta.
If you weren't playing soccer, what sport would you want to play?
Basketball.
I don't know what that height. Hey everyone, welcome back to the chat. I'm your host, Samara Iman, and today is a very exciting episode. For the first time, I am back on the UConn campus since I've graduated, but I'm also joined by a very special guest, a 3-time high school All-American and a superstar for the UConn women's soccer team, Miss Jess Mazo.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. Long story short, me and Jess started playing soccer together when we were in 3rd grade, I think.
Yeah, small.
We were small, and well, actually, she was small. I was huge. Why was I like?
Yeah, but I've always been small, but you were big.
No, I was so tall.
Yeah.
I was so tall in like 3rd grade, 4th grade, basically the entire time we were playing together. But I'm so excited to have her on the chat and just be able to talk about your journey to UConn, but also talk about so many other achievements that you've had. So I just basically want to start from the beginning. Tell us basically how you got started playing soccer and just from there on.
Yeah, I started when I was 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They just gave us a paper out in our school that had like AYSO tryouts.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just so excited. I brought it to my mom and I was like, I want to play soccer. Like, I want to do this. And I think there's just the inspiration for that was my dad played soccer his whole life. And
Okay.
so
I don't think I ever knew that. I
never
knew that.
Yeah, he played his whole life. And yeah, so we would always go to the games. He always had soccer on TV. And so I feel like I was just naturally like drawn to it. And then, yeah, she signed me up. And the rest was history.
Yeah. So after that, when we were in probably like elementary school, middle school, we started playing for Yankee United.
Yeah.
Talk to us about kind of your journey when kind of in middle school, but then to high school, and then, you know, because you had some great achievements at St. Joe's. Same, you guys will notice the same high school that my sister went to. If you watched the last episode. So yeah, talk about your success there, and then how that led to UConn.
Yeah, so I started with Yankee because my sister actually started first, and I was just at one of her practices. It was at the indoor facility.
Yeah.
And I was just kicking the ball around with my dad, doing some drills, and then Matt came up to me and was like, "You have a team?" And I was like, "Yeah, I play for Bridgeport United."
Yeah.
And he like then tried to get me to come to Yankee and like help me out and stuff. And yeah, that's how I ended up there. And then I think I was with Matt for a good amount of years.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was great. And then transitioning into high school, I always had Jack. And that was an experience.
Yeah, trust me, I know. Just all the stories I even heard from my sister about Jack. But I mean,
he's amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's great at what he does.
Yeah.
He could be different, but he has a lot of accolades, and you know, he can back it up. But
yeah,
no, it was great. He pushed me a lot. I think I definitely made the right choice in going to St. Joe's for the reason that I did. It was soccer.
I mean, 3 state championships. That's definitely a good reason to go to St. Joe's, and I mean the conference that St. Joe's was in was very competitive. And obviously that led you to becoming an All-American, All-State. You guys won conference titles. Like, talk about once you started getting recognized as the great player you are. What was the kind of mentality in high school, and then did you always know that you wanted to play in college, or how did that kind of come about?
Yeah, so with Jack, my freshman year we won states, and then sophomore year I think I had more of like my breakout year, I would say. Freshman year we had Jenna Bike, we had Lewis, like the team was amazing, had a lot of senior like stars, I would say, and then my sophomore year was, I guess, my year to grow into myself, and that's when I started getting recognized, I think, and started leading the team a little bit more. But yeah, I think I always knew I wanted to play in college just because I love playing soccer so much. Like since I was little, my dream has been to play professionally, and I've said that like every day of my life. So naturally, like
you knew it was gonna happen.
Whatever the next step is of playing soccer, I'm gonna take it. So yeah, college was something that I was striving for and trying to find a good program that I could get into.
So kind of coming up, because I know obviously from my sister too, and then kind of my own experience with basketball, I know your junior and senior year are crucial, and that's when you start to get recruited. But then, I mean, in your case, I'm sure you probably started getting recruited early, but what was that process like? Because I know a little bit about it, but not kind of to the extent like following through and committing to a program. So how was that? And were you always, obviously we grew up in Connecticut, so did you always have your eye on UConn, or how did that come about in committing?
I think since I was little, I've always said that UConn was my dream school. For whatever reason. I think it might have been honestly because it was the only university I knew about. And just like, I don't know, I was like 5 saying, I want to go to UConn. I don't know anything about it. I didn't really have a soccer team, nothing. And so naturally when the process started for me, it was around freshman year, I would say late freshman year. And Jack was sort of helping me, and he had connections with Mags here because Sabrina went there. And so then my sophomore year, I want to say, or like late freshman year, I knew it was early. Like you guys don't understand. From the time that we were in elementary school, she's probably gonna say it's not true, but she was always the best player on the team. Always. She might have been the smallest, but she was always the quickest, had the best skills, the best shot on the team, everything. So I mean, I knew naturally that you were gonna end up at some school playing soccer. And I think now the process you can't start until I think your junior year because of the rules. But when I was getting recruited, you could start earlier. So then late freshman year, early sophomore year, I really can't remember, but I took an overnight stay with Sabrina here.
But that's also good that you knew someone already here. Yeah,
it was really nice. And then I think their incoming freshman class was having their official visit. I was having my unofficial. And Mags was great. The coaching staff was great. My parents got to meet them. And I fell in love with the campus. I fell in love with the coaches, and everybody was super welcoming. So UConn was actually the only school that I toured. I didn't really take on other offers from other schools.
So you knew it. You were like, I'm going to UConn. I don't need to contact anybody else.
As soon as she offered me, I was like, I literally dropped the phone, ran around to my parents. I was like, you're not gonna believe this.
I'm going to UConn.
And then I committed halfway through my sophomore year. So.
Okay. And now that we're here, you're obviously a grad student, your last semester. Talk to us about kind of your day-to-day now, but also talk to us about what it's like to be not only a college student, a college athlete, but also a UConn student athlete, because I know having gone to UConn, the facilities are amazing. Just everything that comes with the atmosphere of UConn is amazing. So talk to us not only about being a college athlete, but a UConn college athlete.
I can say that we're pretty spoiled here. We have all the facilities that you can imagine. You have all the staff that you need to be there at your disposal, to make you successful. Our new facility has everything you can think of. We have recovery pools, we have a beautiful training room, our stadium is super nice, our locker room is amazing, and it makes things a lot easier. It feels like a professional atmosphere and environment, and so it really allows you to focus on what you're doing and not having to focus on like the small details
things,
of like,
yeah,
oh, where am I
yeah.
going to recover? You have a whole team.
Yeah, for that.
Yeah.
And what's the day-to-day like? Like going to
Yeah.
class and, because I know a lot of my classes you would see student athletes, but I've always wondered like, did they just come from class
Yes.
and now we gotta take an exam? Because I'm already stressed and I literally just rolled out of bed. So it's
Yeah.
like, what's your day-to-day like? How do you, like on a weekly basis, how do you prepare for a game, but also balance the responsibilities of just being a regular student as well?
Yeah. I think coming into it, it can be a little overwhelming,
Mhm.
but as you get older and your years go by here, you get used to it.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about it is athletes get first pick for classes
Mhm.
because the
Of your
coaches,
schedule, yeah.
so the coaches send out your schedule for the upcoming semester,
Mhm.
and then you have to base your classes around that. So
Okay.
right now we have like an afternoon sort of block, which is nice. We don't have to get up for like a 6 a.m. practice.
Yeah.
So our practice are usually like 12:30 to 3:30 or like 1 to 4,
Mhm.
and so that's the block. And so usually most of my classes are either morning or like nighttime classes.
Okay.
But this semester I don't have any classes at night, but
Okay.
it's mostly just in the morning. So yeah, you roll out, go to class.
Yeah.
If you have time in between, or sometimes you have back-to-back
Mhm.
classes and then you have to go straight to practice. And,
Yeah. But then, how about with games? Like, how do you? I know you guys have some people on your staff who kind of help out with balancing, or actually, I don't know, because if you guys have a game and you see in your class you have like an exam or something, how do you deal with that?
So you have a student athlete like advisor
Mhm.
essentially, and so they help with communicating with professors. But it's
Okay.
honestly your job.
Your
to
job
do it
too,
mostly.
yeah.
Like they'll send out like an email beforehand, like before a big trip. Like
Mhm.
next week we're traveling for 5 days.
But you need to follow up with them and stuff.
Yeah, so you're the one that's like, oh, when can I reschedule this exam? Like last week, we traveled to Georgetown. I had an
Mhm.
exam on our game day,
Okay.
but the professor was nice enough to let me take it the
Mhm.
next day. Or sometimes they take it before. Or if some
Mhm.
professors don't like that, you have to take it that day, and
Okay.
you have somebody that comes with you to proctor.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so that's usually how it goes. But if you have a home game on the weekdays,
Mhm.
it's usually like a night game,
Okay.
and so anything after like 3 p.m.
Mhm.
you don't go to class,
Okay.
and like you have like sort of an excuse.
Mhm.
But if
Just
you
to
have,
focus on getting ready for the game.
yeah, so but anything like before then you have to go to class. And,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Like all the stuff that I went through just as a regular student, I'm like, I had it easy. Not having to go to a practice or a game after, so kudos to you. But I'm curious, what's a piece of advice you wish you would give to your younger self when you first got to UConn? Because obviously now you're a grad student, about to kind of start the next chapter of your career. But what's something you wish you knew when you first came in to UConn?
Honestly, that I have so much room to grow still.
Mm.
I think coming from like a high school or like even club standpoint, when
Mhm.
you're stepping into a D1 program, you're usually coming from a team where you were the best player.
Yeah.
But now all these people are also coming from that same
Mhm.
sort of situation.
Well, I feel like it's also good that you came from St. Joe's because there's so many other
Yes.
players on that team who also went Division I. So I feel like that kind of helped you out a little
Yeah,
bit.
for sure.
A little bit, but I mean, yeah, I can imagine. I feel like I've heard that a lot. That or even when athletes make the transition to professional,
Yes.
I feel like I hear that a lot. That people will say like, at the next level, everybody was the best player on their team too. So I feel like I've heard that that's been humbling. But how's that been for you?
No, it's been good. I think it's a learning experience,
Mhm.
and having a coaching staff that believes in you and is pushing you
Mm-hmm.
to limits that you didn't even know were possible, or that
Mhm.
they see things in you that you can't see right now. It was really helpful, and having teammates that are pushing you as well. I think aids the process a little bit more, and I think the biggest thing is just continuing to have that confidence and bring that confidence with you to the next level, because obviously you will have challenges along the way. Like my freshman year, there were some times where I didn't start a game or I would come off the bench, and that's difficult coming from a standpoint where you used to start every game and you would play the whole game. And so sometimes it could be a little bit of like a mental challenge, but just knowing that they're doing it for a reason, they're seeing something that you just can't understand right now.
And I mean, now you're a captain, so you've come a long way. So I'm sure you probably see that in the freshmen now, who probably also came from being the best player on their team.
Yeah.
So how have you helped the younger players to kind of see what you see now, but you didn't see it when you were in their shoes, you know?
I honestly think I'm not like a really vocal person, or like I'm not somebody that's really loud or anything like that. So I've always said that I lead through just like example. So that is how I lead. Like I'll do, and then I hope that I set a good enough example where people want to follow in my footsteps. And I've tried to do that with people that are coming up right now, like freshmen, underclassmen. But this year I've tried to push myself a little bit more to make those connections with the freshmen
and be more vocal.
Yeah, be more vocal, and just help them understand that whatever process they're individually going through, it's only going to help the collective effort. You know, because sometimes when you're going through an individual challenge of like, oh, maybe I'm not starting, or I should be getting more minutes than I am, you kind of forget about what you're actually working for as a team is to win a championship and to make it to the NCAAs or anything like that. But trying to refocus their attention away from just their individual battle.
The team goals.
Yes, and how they can find their own role even if they're not getting the minutes that they desire right now.
And I want to talk about another aspect of your college experience, which has been kind of like the talk of college athletics for the past, I don't know, maybe year or two, NIL, and how has that experience been for you, and how do you think, like, I just want your opinion on that, because obviously I will read about it or watch other college analysts talk about it, but I'm curious, as a student athlete, what's your opinion on all of this?
I think it's great. I mean, you've definitely seen some bigger name athletes obviously profit a lot from it.
Yeah.
But I think that's the sort of trend that you see. It's mostly the bigger name athletes that are getting most of these deals, or the bigger deals. And so sports like women's soccer, which isn't as big as I would say women's basketball or men's basketball.
In terms of like revenue.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that is, I guess, the challenge of being able to find deals that are on their same level, which you're really not going to find. So it's sort of like picking the thing that you want. For me, I'm not actively pursuing it. The thing that I've done with NIL is the youth camp that I created, and that has been like my biggest NIL deal, I guess I would say.
Just something,
really a deal,
just finding something that you're passionate about rather than just like
another deal.
Yeah.
So that's been my thing. I don't want to just, because there are options. There's this app called Open Doors that you can find any deals and companies.
Is that through UConn, or is that just a NCAA? Or
I think they're affiliated with
Okay.
UConn. I don't know if it's from UConn, because I think other schools also use it.
Okay.
But yeah, you can go on those and find any deals that you want. But for me, and that's fine for some people, that works for them. But for me, I don't want to just do these advertisements and just post it.
Just to do it,
So for me, it was finding something that I can do that felt valuable and that like aligned with myself, that didn't feel like I was just doing it to get some money.
And you mentioned your camp. I want to talk about that a little bit, because that is incredible. That's a great achievement, especially at your age. I feel like you see a lot of maybe like retired athletes or older athletes who will start a camp. It's not often that you see college athletes starting their own camp. So talk to us about that. And I know you mentioned that NIL helped you start that, but is that something you always saw yourself doing, or in do you think that camp could possibly transition into coaching in the future or something like that?
I don't know if I've always saw myself having a camp, but I've always seen myself giving back. And I was obviously born and raised in Bridgeport, and when I started the class that I was telling you about that actually helped me put this together. My biggest thing was I have to have the first camp in Bridgeport. Like, it's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, it was about just giving back to the community that helped raise me and helped give me all these opportunities and help me get to the place that I am today. And so if I could give just a little bit back to these kids, because honestly I feel like there's not as many resources to play soccer in Bridgeport. I think there's other sports like basketball that sort of take precedence.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, basketball is definitely probably one of the biggest sports.
Yeah.
In
So if I could do anything to sort of elevate the sport a little bit, that's what I wanted to do. So I reached out to the Sheehan Center through Championship Labs, and David Noble helped me do all this. They helped me set up a date and everything, and all the resources that I needed were given to me, and even the University of Bridgeport gave me the equipment for the day. Like it was just like people were just helping me, and it was amazing. And it was 11 kids that came for the first camp, and they had a blast. It was like 4 hours, and some of the parents stayed, and the kids were just having fun. I played against them like for a little bit. It was super fun. One of my teammates also helped me run it.
And I'm sure they were probably looking up to you like, oh my God. And just how you were saying like, oh my God, one day I want to go to UConn. I bet you now they're probably like, oh my God, one day I want to go to UConn. Yeah. Maybe not to play a sport, but I'm sure they're probably just like, I want to go to college. I want to be like Jess. So I love that. That's just, because like I said, you don't see too many college athletes doing that. So I love that you're not only looking for NIL deals just to like profit off it, off or something like that, but you're looking for something that you're truly passionate about, and I love that.
Yeah.
Going back to your high school career, but also transitioning to kind of the next part of your chapter, I'm curious, what has been your most memorable moment? Either winning state championships and being named a high school All-American, or being invited to the Colombian National Team Camp. Tell us about that. So first, what's been the most memorable moment for you?
I honestly I can't pick, but I think they were both memorable in two different ways. The Colombian National Team Camp, I think, for me, has been an individual achievement. Because it's something I've always dreamed of. Like, I wrote this down on paper when I was young, like maybe 10. I put it on the board that I want to make it to the National Team Camp. And so achieving that was, like, surreal. And I was like, wow, I did it. But it's also, like, yes, an individual feat, but there's also so many people that helped me get there. Like, my coach helped me reach out to them in the first place. They were able to get in contact with them to help me. And obviously getting to that point and getting to be on that level, there were so many people that helped me get to that point. And so an individual level, but also very memorable because of how many people have helped me get to that point. 3 state championships is something
that's not easy.
It's something you worked for your whole season, and being able to do it back to back. You know, 3 years in a row is something that you just don't forget. I still have the rings, all the memories. You know, is so fun, and I wouldn't trade it. I can't pick something else over it. But they're both extremely memorable.
And I'm curious, what is your current relationship with the Colombian National Team? Like, what's to come, maybe?
Hopefully, another call up and another opportunity, you know, to make the team. That was just like a camp to get
kind of
started.
Showcase yourself.
Yeah, basically, and to get started on like to get like on the practices for the obviously the World Cup that was coming up. But I still keep in contact with some of them. They were all incredibly nice and welcoming, and I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Honestly, they took me in. I was with them for 10 days.
Oh, okay, wow, that's a long time.
Yeah. And so, you know, getting to spend time with people that I looked up to my whole life was like surreal. I was like sitting next to one of the girls that I admired my entire life, and playing next to her was just incredible. And
wow.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you were happy to be back in Colombia where your parents are from, and just be able to share that moment with them. I'm sure that was probably great.
Yeah, no, they came out and met me in Bogota, which is where, yeah, and obviously they live in Medellin, but they came over to Bogota to help me out with it. But yeah, no, it was amazing getting to see them, and it made the trip even more special. Yeah.
And so having been at the camp that helped the team prepare for the World Cup, and I'm curious, did you? I know it was probably preseason, so you probably didn't get to watch too much.
No, I did.
Okay, you did.
I was getting up at 6 a.m. and then I was on practice.
Yeah.
Watching those games.
But I'm sure that was probably a really cool experience.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, they made it to the quarterfinals, right?
Quarterfinals,
Yeah. So what were the feelings watching them and being like, wow, I practiced with them, I helped them prepare for this, and to see them make it so far. I mean, because making it to the quarterfinals of the World Cup is not easy. So having even played a small role in just helping them prepare for that, how did just what were the emotions and stuff like that?
No, it was amazing. I when I was there, their level of soccer is I think more than people give them credit for. And I think this World Cup, and I could feel it when I was there, their effort and the way that their mentality, I would say, the way that they approach these camps was like, they're going to make a statement at this World Cup, and I could feel it, I could see it, and watching them play, I just was rooting. I couldn't do more than root for them. Like, I wanted them to win the whole thing, like,
the whole thing,
because their level of soccer is very impressive, and I don't know, like, it was just overwhelming, and I was incredibly proud to see them out there and fighting for just a little bit of recognition for the level of soccer that they have, and I think they did that. I think they shocked the world a little bit with their level of soccer and what they could achieve. And
yeah, because all eyes were on USA.
Yes.
But I feel like it's always in either the World Cup or the Olympics, there's always that team that sets the stage or not upsets the U.S. but also just captures the world's attention. Yeah,
for sure.
And I know Colombia was definitely one of those teams.
And I think that they could only continue to get bigger. They have a lot of young talent coming up. Linda Caicedo is just amazing. Hopefully.
You.
Yeah, they have amazing talent, and I think it's only up from here. Truly, I think they're going to make a statement.
Yeah. So I just also want to talk about what motivates you to keep going, because I know just playing the sport and just getting up every day, going to practice isn't easy, but I just want to know what motivates you to keep going.
I think that's just the love that I have for the game. Like, to me, it's my biggest passion in life. It brings me so much joy. It is like a sanctuary for me. Soccer is a place that I can go to clear my mind, to enjoy myself, and that joy is something that I never want to lose, and it's what has kept me going. I think soccer practice is the part of my day that I look forward to the most. Like, I roll out of bed for class at 8 in the morning. I don't care. Like, I have practice at 1 a.m. I'm looking forward to. So,
you're definitely. I'm like, what's going on with my voice? You're definitely that player who brings their all, not only in games but in practice. And I feel like I saw that even when we were younger. You were so hardworking, and just so passionate about the game. So I'm not surprised that this has transitioned into who you are now in college. I kind of want to just get into a few, talking about some current events, and kind of just the current environment, atmosphere of soccer, but also other sports, because I'm curious if you follow any other sports. So I'm curious to know, like, what are your thoughts on Messi going to Miami, because I know that was kind of controversial, but also, like, people loved it, and now, like, everyone's like, oh, Miami, everything. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, Messi is, like, my lifetime idol. So, to me, it is an amazing move because it makes the ability to go watch him play even easier. But no, I think for the U.S., I think it's a great move. I think having a star like that, somebody like Lionel Messi, is
Great for the MLS.
Yes,
Yeah.
great for the MLS. You know, it's only going to get more eyes on soccer, especially men's soccer here, because I think, you know, their national team is getting a lot better now, and I think it could only improve with getting more eyes on the game. So I think in that aspect, it's a great move. For him, I think it's a great move as well. He seems a lot happier. I don't think he was doing as well in
At
PSG.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And I mean, there were also, at PSG, there were a lot of stars. I mean,
Yeah.
it was Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. Like, that's, you know,
lot.
it's like equivalent to like a super team
Yes.
here, like the NBA or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's funny now because that answers a question to that answers a question I had later on. But I'm curious, do you follow like what other sports do you follow? Like, and I mean, obviously we're at UConn, basketball capital of the world. Yeah. Do you follow basketball really, or not as much?
Loosely, like I if a game is on, I'll watch it. I think it's really entertaining. But I don't understand all the rules. Like I've never watched it growing up or anything, but I think it's really entertaining to watch. So if it's on, I'll watch basketball. Okay.
And so is that just professional or is that college too?
No, I watch the college games for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
like I think that's what made me get into it.
Okay, just
like,
being at UConn.
Being at UConn, getting to watch the games. So.
And then how about the NFL? Do you follow American football?
But like, I don't understand it. Like there's so many rules. Like whenever I watch it with my teammates, I'm like, why did they stop? Like what's going on?
Like why are they stopping again?
So no, I'll watch it, but I have no idea what's going on. Really.
But mainly you usually just watch soccer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? Now I kind of want to transition into our next segment. It's a new segment here on the chat, so bear with us. Let us know if you like it. If you don't like it, I want to hear it in the comments. But this is a rapid fire speed round. Just basically whatever comes to your head.
Sounds good.
Just blurt it out. So this is make it snappy. Alrighty, you ready?
Yes.
All right, Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Favorite soccer team?
Barca.
Turf or grass?
Grass.
Day game or under the lights?
Day game.
Favorite Big East opponent?
Georgetown, maybe.
Win Olympic gold or win the World Cup?
World Cup. Hands down.
Favorite artist to listen to during warm-ups?
Bad Bunny.
Okay, Bad Bunny. Huskies or Teds?
I want to say neither, but I guess
favorite college dinner?
Just like rice, chicken, and like some veggies. Yeah.
Wow, you're better than us because I just said ramen or something. Okay, this is not making us happy. Morning class or night class?
Morning.
New uniforms or new cleats?
New uniforms.
Biggest soccer pet peeve?
Maybe when people roll their shoulders up too high. It's like, no.
Game-winning header or game-winning penalty kick?
Penalty kick.
Favorite female athlete?
Marta.
If you weren't playing soccer, what sport would you want to play?
Badminton.
I don't know what that height. But thank you. That was Make It Snappy, so let us know if you liked it. I want to talk about a few of those answers.
Okay.
It's funny that you said rolling your shorts up too high because that was my biggest pet peeve in basketball. I don't know why, but also in soccer when I played in high school, my biggest pet peeve was, I don't know if this is just me and just because I have thick hair or whatever else, I don't understand the pre-wrap thing. Wearing pre-wrap for a headband. I don't get it. It'll break in 2 seconds while you're playing. I don't get it. Do you wear pre-wrap?
I'll tell you why though. My flyaways are crazy.
Okay.
So like if like
but
practice,
I don't get it. Like just wear. What about just wearing like one of those tie Nike headbands?
I don't like those because then like it just like it's flying
right back. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do wear pre-wrap, but like during practice, like if I don't wear it, like at the end of the practice, my hair is like all standing up, and it's just too much, but yeah.
And I'm curious, well, this isn't a question that I asked, but if you look on her Instagram, she has great style. If you see her now, great style. Because I know a lot of athletes professionally have great style. So is there anyone, especially like basketball players, is there anyone who you kind of look up to style-wise, or even a non-athlete?
I don't know if I have like a style inspiration, but I don't know.
Or do you kind of just wear what you feel like?
Yeah.
That's what's more comfortable.
I think growing up, I always just worn what was comfortable to me. And I think that's what I've stuck to. But not like inspiration-wise, like for fashion. I think like Pinterest, like even TikTok sometimes.
Yeah.
Just like finding pieces that I like. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try that. But mostly just whatever's comfortable to me.
And then I want to talk about your favorite Big East opponent. So you mentioned Georgetown.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you guys just played Georgetown.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about, like how the season's going. I know you guys have a game tomorrow against Xavier. Okay. How's the season going? And I mean, this is your last season.
Yeah.
Just what are your thoughts and kind of what afterwards, after everything's said and done, just what are you going to think of your last season?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's my favorite opponent just because they're always like the team to chase, essentially. Because they're always winning and whatnot. But last game, we just, when we played them, we tied 0-0. But
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it was a good game. I think it could have gone either way, honestly. But yeah, no, I think the Big East right now is incredibly tight. Like just on Thursday, we had our bye week, so we didn't play.
Okay.
But most of the teams tied each other. So like the conference is really tight right now. We're tied for second.
Okay.
So we're doing pretty well. We're actually tied with Xavier, so that's a big game.
Okay, so tomorrow's
it's
a
really
big game.
Yeah, really big game for us. Yeah, no, I think we're doing really well. I think the team is focused. Our goal for this year is to win the Big East, and I think we have the team to do it this year. I can confidently say that. I think we have a really good team this year.
Because you guys made it to the Big East last year, right?
Yeah, we made it to the first round. Past 3 years, we made it to the first round and lost. So that is one of the reasons why I came back. Just because, I knew that we could get farther, and so this year we have the team to do so. And no, at the end of the season, I think, looking back on it, I just want to be able to say that I gave it my all, that the team did the best that we could, and I know that if we do that, we'll get pretty far in what we should do.
Well, I guess then tomorrow's going to be a big test to see how the rest of the season plays out. Well, I hope that you guys make it to the Big East, because hopefully maybe you guys will have a home game and I'll be able to come up and see it. But yeah, I mean, your entire college career, I was looking at some of your stats, and even just the fact that you made first and second All Big East team are pretty big accolades and achievements. So, kind of what for yourself personally, are there any goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of the season, in terms of maybe like goal wise, assists? Because I know you play midfield, so I know maybe like. You're a distributor, but also you're a scorer. So what was kind of your goals for the beginning of the season?
I think when I was a little younger, I used to set like number-wise. I used to have a number, but now I try not to do that just because it makes me like get in my head if I'm not meeting them.
Yeah.
So I try not to do that. And my biggest goal coming into this year was just to be the best leader that I could be, and just play the best soccer that I can play and give my best effort. And so that is the way that I've been trying to measure myself at the end of each game. Did I do everything that I could? Was I the best leader that I could be? And I think doing that allows me to play my best soccer instead of chasing like number-wise. But yeah.
So at the end of the season, you'll officially be a UConn alum.
Yeah.
You'll join the club. But so what's going to come after this? Like, what do you see for yourself in the next chapter of your life, in the next chapter of your career?
Playing more soccer. I want
playing till the wheels fall off.
Yes, basically, I want to keep playing. I want to play professionally, and if that takes me overseas, that takes me overseas. If that keeps me in the U.S., it keeps me in the U.S. I want to play. I don't really care where it is. I just want to play. Because I'm not ready to give that up. I'm not ready.
And then hopefully, like you said, obviously continue with the
camp and coaching. I think would also be a good space for me as well. I can see myself doing that. So, yeah, soccer is gonna be a part of my life. I think
for a while. And I mean, hopefully we see you playing for Colombia in the next few years.
Yes.
Maybe, who knows?
I hope so too.
Who knows what will happen? But I am so excited that we got to do this. Thank you so much for coming on the chat and just talking about your journey. I've learned a lot. I feel like we haven't, like, obviously when we were both at UConn at the same time, we would like pass each other and say what's up, all that, but we haven't really gotten to catch up since, I don't even know, since we were, years. So I'm really happy that you came on here and just, you were able to share your story, because really the basis of this platform is to be able to talk with athletes who don't normally get a platform like this. And so I just instantly knew that you were the perfect person to have on the chat. But thank you so much, and I'm rooting for you 100%. I'm rooting for the team in the Big East, and hopefully after that. But thank you guys so much for joining us today, and stay tuned for more. Bye, guys.